All right, folks, as promised, I'm gonna make a video here on how I lower the pan tension on my Duke 550s. Like I said in the other video, I used to bend the dog, like was recommended by Positrip for many years, until I kind of got the knack of filing the end of the dog. You can keep your dog straight then. It's a little bit less work, but it's a little bit takes a little bit more skill to file it correctly. But I apologize. This is not going to be my best video. It's really hard to show finite filing in a video. It's almost like trying to learn how to sharpen a chainsaw by watching a video. It's just something you got to learn by feel. But you'll get the hang of how to at least get started, and take your time. Just take a little bit at a time, a little bit off at a time, file a little bit at a time until you get a feel for how much you need to file and at what angle you need to file on to get the tension where you want it. And I'll say in the video later, I'll mention that if you wax your traps, you might want to use them, kind of clean the oil off of them, dye and wax them out of the box, and then check your tension. And then you're gonna figure out how, if you need to, maybe you don't even need to lower the tension at all on them. Everybody knows I'm primarily a fox trapper, and I probably catch 10 fox per coyote. So I definitely want my tension down. I do not want to miss foxes. And, something I always say in my demos and when I'm explaining, people ask about how much pan tension do you run. I like my pans, I don't like them a lot of slop in them, but I really don't have any added tension. My pans will flop up and down on a standard, dog and pan post type trap. Because when you put a trap in the ground, everything that pretty much happens to it once it's in there will increase your tension. You make a few catches and there's some corrosion, that will increase your tension a bit. And if you just get a little mist of rain and the ground hardens up, that crust over top will increase your tension too. So I want to start with no, I don't want to say zero pan tension because this brings that tension, but I want to start with no added tension from the pan bolt. And that's kind of one of the beauties of like the Positrip system that's on these 550 style traps. Once you get your pan tension set, you pretty much don't ever have to mess with it again. They stay really consistent. The only factor is in there if you wax your traps there, you're going to have much more minimal pan tension when they're waxed than after you make a few catches and the wax, that lubrication factor is gone. So yeah, before I get into the actual nuts and bolts and showing you what to do, I just want to stress, if you're liking the content I'm putting out, what I'm trying to put out there for trappers and helps some newer trappers out, fix some of the problems on your line or some of the issues you're running into getting your traps ready. Please subscribe, and also hit the notification bell, because if you subscribe and do that, you'll be notified when I upload a new video. I do post some links to my videos on some of the message boards, but Facebook really limits the reach of a YouTube link. And I don't know if that's because YouTube is a competing company from Facebook, if that's why they do it. I don't know, but I know if I post a Facebook link, it just does not have the reach. It just does not get the views like it should if it would be a photo or something of that nature. The other thing is, there's a lot of trapping groups out there, and it seems like some of them now have to approve posts by members, and they're not letting Facebook videos go through. Why, I don't know. Because I think, you know, some of these Facebook videos guys are putting out are nothing but, you know, promotion and self-promotion. Some of them are just pure garbage. I hate to say that, but that's what they are. But I hope that, and I strive to put out pretty decent stuff that's going to help people. So enough on that. Like I said, if you like my stuff, you like my videos, please subscribe so you know you make sure you get to see them. And obviously I'm not getting any money from this. It's impossible to make any money making YouTube videos. You need millions of views and subscribers, and you're just not going to do that in the trapping world. There's probably some guys out there making trapping videos that think they're going to get rich on it, but in this world, you know, it usually ends up being the middleman or the big company that's going to get rich on it, which would be YouTube. Yeah, just goes back to the mountain man days. The trapper always does all the work and really doesn't get any financial gain from it. So enjoy the video. Like I said, if you have any questions, comment down below. And like I said, please subscribe. Okay, the first step to lightening the pan tension on these 550 style traps is you want to remove any burrs. We're going to file the dog, but before we do that, we're going to remove any burrs from the underside of that pan right there. And I just use a small file. And that's really all you need to do, just to get that machining burr where that piece was stamped out, just to remove the burrs from underneath there. Okay, I think I got the camera here at about the best angle I can get it to show you what I'm going to do here. Really, all I really do is I put the dog in the vise on an angle, kind of like that. You can see the eye of the dog is against the side of the vise. And you just got to kind of eyeball it. I just know roughly how much to take off, but I want it on a little bit on an angle, like that. I wouldn't make it at a whole 40, at a 45, but about like I have it in the vise. And then you want to hold, you just use, this is a 6-inch bastard cut flat file. You can use really any file, it doesn't matter. And you just want to, as you can see, I'm kind of holding it flat and maybe on a little bit of an angle downward. And this is just something you're going to do by feel. Your goal here is to file it at a little bit of a downward angle and remove any burrs. Just a light touch till you get the hang of it. But I'm going to shut the camera off here and check that, see if the pan tension is about like I want it, and then I'll show you how I do the rest of it. But really, that's all you got to do. Put it in the vise, file that flat to a little bit of a downward angle. If you see what I'm trying to show you there, I don't go that hard on an angle, but and remove the burrs and file it downward. That does the same thing as bending the dog. It's changing the angle of that notch. Filing it does the same as bending it. All right, I got the pan tension where I want it on this trap. Like I said, I used a small file and removed the burrs from underneath there. And the night latch notch in the dog itself, I filed all the burrs off and filed it a little bit on a downward angle. I checked the pan tension and it's about like I want it. Now, obviously, I want to stress this. I do not wax my canine traps. I use Formula One on them. So that doesn't really add a lot of lubrication. But wax will. So maybe you don't want to do this until you wax them first and see how they turn out as a wax trap. And then if there's still too much pan tension for your liking, you might want to do this. But I just want to warn you, what I'm doing here is for a dip trap and a water-based dip like Formula One. Its wax is going to significantly lower your pan tension. But like I said, this tension is about where I want it. But as you can see, that pan sits a little bit high. And I've noticed that with all the traps in the box that I was tuning here in this batch. Every run of traps is different sometimes. So really all I'm going to do is I'm going to just close that dog eye ever so slightly in the vise, and that will bring my pan down to about level where I want it. Let's see if I can do this with the camera here. Okay, that's all I really do. See if I went enough. I probably didn't. There we go. I did go enough. That pan is pretty flat now. Should be good to go. And the pan tension is about like I like it. I just want to show you this little tool here. A friend of mine made me this back when I was bending the rod dogs for posi trip systems and on 550s and whatnot. So he made me this bender. You actually stick the dog in there, and this part bends the dog. It's adjustable, so you can adjust how far along the dog you want the bend to be. And it's also adjustable for how much of an angle you want the bend to be. That's the handle. You can, I mean, this guy he's a genius when it comes to designing stuff. He has it greasable and everything. So you can see, you just stick it in like that and move the handle, and you can bend dogs really easily with this thing. But like I said in the other video, I got away from using a bent dog to lower the pan tension on posi trip traps and 550 style traps, simply because when you bend the dog, it sticks up a little. It creates a high point, and sometimes it would stick up in the dirt like after a rain or whatnot. And it just seemed to like once I got the hang of filing them, I like the filed dogs better. I'll stick a trap in here and show you. I'm not going to bend it, but I'll show you what you do. But you see, just move that handle and it bends them right up. As you can see, I have that dog in there, and if I would want to bend that, you see I tighten it up against, I would give that a little bit of a push, and it would bend that dog. And it would look about like that when it was done. So like I said, I don't use this anymore, but I wanted to show you this tool because it's kind of neat. And maybe guys that are out bending dogs by hand, maybe they can get an idea to make a machine kind of like this.